Welcome back to NTheRealestWay Podcast by Marqes Smith, where we talk about so many topics in the realest way. On this podcast episode, I want to talk about the importance of mental health and the importance of taking care of yourself. And to be honest with you right now and say that I'm not okay. These past days, these past weeks, I was off and I couldn't find out what was wrong with me. I would go out into the world and I wouldn't smile. I had to put on a facade and I had to pretend like I was okay just so other people could, I guess, be comfortable or keep everything going as it was before. I found myself just really unhappy in my environment with the people around me. I was facing so many challenges. And I know that a lot of issues that I'm facing, people are quick like me to just be so fast about, is this thing, is that person, is something else. It's never us, So I'm at a point in my life where I was critiquing myself, but it wasn't a negative way to where I would beat myself down. I would never give myself understanding and patience like I did for other people. I realized that I was, in terms of filling their cup up before my own, I was giving them the patience that I should have been giving myself. I was taking the time to forgive them, care about them, make sure they're okay. And all those things are good, but you can't take care of anybody if you're not doing okay, if you're not filling your cup up first. And there were so many issues that were piled up on each other. I go in a constant battle of my ego on a daily basis. Sometimes I'm understanding and I always care, but I seem more prone on the outside of looking like I care. And I'm realizing more and more each day that my ego has been impacting almost every decision that I've made. When I'm having conversations with people I care about in terms of disagreements, I realized that every time I spoke about an issue, it was never so I could understand the other person, but so they could understand me. Everything they said, I had a reaction, a statement to say after what they said to counter what they said. You said this, okay? You say running isn't as proficient about losing weight as going to the gym. And I have a comeback of saying, well, this is this and that. You know what I'm saying? I always have something to say after you say something. And of course, when having a conversation with somebody that you care about something that matters to you, yes, it's important to say how you feel and let how you feel be known, but not in a way to where it's combative and it's doing the opposite of what you wanted to do. I have to understand that I play a part in my own demise sometimes. I play a part in my own downfall. It's always this person, but what am I doing? What am I doing? I find myself so drained all the time because I'm in a constant state of survival, in a constant state of fighting and resisting. I'm not living. And there's a part of me right now that refuses to rest fully. There's people on the internet talking about once you heal fully, and of course you're never going to fully heal, but once you get to a point where when you have healed a lot, you lose that sense of drive and passion that you had about certain things. And that scared me because I know in doing that, I know for sure that I would lose that drive. The very thing that is holding me back is the thing that keeps me moving forward. I don't know if I lose the part of my ego that I need to lose, I will be the same. And of course, I'll never be the same. But in terms of my passion and my drive, I feel like I would lose it. And that scares me. Now it's, what, do you want peace in a life to where you lose all that passion, you lose this version of you, or do I stay this way and destroy relationships that matter to me? It's a hard. When they told me, when they tell people all the time that healing is not this thing that's like gonna be a overnight situation. You're gonna struggle. You're gonna fall. You're gonna think one day you're doing so amazing. You're gonna think that you're on top of the world. You've healed. You've loved. You've forgiven. Next day, everything is the opposite. You're angry. You thought you forgave this person. What they're still doing is bothering you. And I'm here to tell you, it's okay. It's okay to have those days where you feel like it's not okay and it's struggling and it's hard and you're facing so many challenges. It's okay to have a setback so that when you move forward again, you can do better and know better. And I'm not to a point where I'm okay. I don't know when I'll be okay. I'm still in a state of surviving. For the longest I've been surviving. I don't know how. I don't know how to rest. I don't know how to fully just let it be. Not resisting. Just to live life. I don't know. And I don't know if I want to know. I'm not okay. That's what this podcast episode is about. We always talk about, and there was this one situation where a friend of mine told me, "Oh, I love your life. You're living such an amazing life. I'm so happy for you. You're posting all this amazing stuff." And, when somebody tells somebody that's like, "Oh, thank you. I appreciate it so much." It actually really made me sit down and think. I was in a disarray. I was in a state of confusion, sadness, because I was like, you think I'm this happy person all the time. Smith is just, just knows everything. He's happy. He's getting everything he wants out of life. But behind closed doors, I promise you, the internet, life outside is not always what it seems. People are not always, this is a facade. We're all living facades of lives that we want to believe and we want to tell other people. But I want to be a person to where, in the realest way, I'm being who I am right now, outside too. And I was watching this podcast with Angie Martinez again, with Taraji P. Henson, and she was like, "I'm not okay. I'm not okay." And this other podcast, Know For Sure podcast with Megan Ashley and B. Simone, and they were talking about, no, when somebody asks you, "Are you okay?" Be honest. Stop saying, "Oh, I'm okay," when you're not okay. Say how you feel. And it's not a bad thing to say that. It's okay to say, "I'm not okay." Because you have to come to a term of understanding with the situation that you're in right now to move forward. You can never move forward if you're stuck on what is and what is right now. You can't. You have to confront it. There's so many times when I'm and other people I know around me, we want to pretend and we want to just let life we want to numb our pain, or we want to find instant gratification, instant pleasure. We don't want to sit down and really figure it out. We want to just keep going and running and running. I don't want to keep doing that. I'm tired. I'm tired of pretending. I'm tired of running. And I want this podcast to be something meaningful, to connect to somebody, even if it's one person, even if it only gets to one person, even if that one person is me. I want this podcast, in the realest way, to mean something. We all need that talk. We all need that understanding, that push. It just didn't come from random. This came from God. This came from God giving me the ability to reach out and get these resources, to listen to other people, and to understand that you're not alone. I'm here to tell you you're not alone. And I'm not okay. But I'm coming to a point where I'm okay that I'm not okay right now. Because I'm at a place right now where I can do something about it. Before, I was just going around, with this weird feeling and pretending like everything was fine, and I was doing the opposite. Now I'm at a point where I can do something about it. I don't want to keep pretending. I don't want to keep lying. All this really circles around to everything. It's not just about you. And of course, you're an important person in your life. It needs to be about you, but how you show up for yourself is how you're going to show up for other people. And again, fill your cup up first, but we are humans, and humans thrive off of connection and relationships and love. How am I supposed to be the best version of myself for you if I can't be it for me? That's a question that you have to ask yourself. How am I supposed to be your friend? How can I say I'm your friend? How can I say I care about you when I'm not giving myself the patience and the love that I'm giving you? It really matters. And the more I sit with myself and I understand myself, the more I talk about these issues, the more I understand why so many issues have shown themselves in my life. They were always there, but when you actually sit down and you try to really fix and help and heal yourself, that's when they show up. And the example I want to use, what many people probably won't understand, is when I was playing an instrument in high school, my band director would say, well, Smith, you're not tonguing this correctly. You're not doing this right. And I was like, well, I don't know what you're talking about. I can't hear it. He said, record yourself. I recorded myself. Once I went back and I played it, and I listened to myself, I heard exactly what he was talking about. Sometimes we need to do that. Sometimes there needs to be a point where we listen and we go back to, why did this affect me? Why did this bother me? We have to find out what triggers us so that we can heal from it and not put ourselves through that anymore. If you don't take the time to care about yourself, there will be people who will come into your life and try, but it will never work because you're not doing it. Nobody can make you do anything that you don't want to do. That's the whole conversation about you can't make somebody heal. You can't make somebody understand what they're doing if they don't want to understand what they're doing. And I want to heal. I want to grow. I want to become an amazing person. But in order to do that, I have to come to terms with who I am right now. And love that version of me. Respect that version of me. And understand that that's just a season. That's just a person who is needed for right now. And I have to understand that the person I was a couple of weeks ago, a couple of days ago, that person is no longer here. I'm this person now. I'm this person now. I'm so happy. I was just in my room, just sitting down, listening to podcasts, just trying to find a way to get through this. And God just gave me the idea, make a podcast about it, talk about it. Because yes, the whole point of this podcast is to go out and reach out to other people. But in many ways, it has healed a lot of parts of me that I didn't know I needed to be healed. And I'm just so grateful to just be and just to live and go through life. I'm just so grateful. And I know that this moment in this season of my life is a season of preparation. It's a season of getting to where I'm going to be. Like I say at the end of every podcast episode, I give thanks to the utmost, to the highest power, God. I'm thankful for my friends and my family. I'm thankful for the listeners of this podcast. I really appreciate it. This is NTheRealestWay Podcast. Out.